Today is Trinity Sunday. Most of us don't spend a lot of time thinking about the Trinity. Well, the Trinity is a puzzle to some folks, and one reason we read the Athanasian Creed on Trinity Sunday is because it gives a pretty good explanation of what the Trinity is all about. I mean, if you can't gain what the Trinity is all about with that, I don't know how else to put it. It's repeated several times over and over in that creed, so I think we get a pretty good idea about the Trinity. Now, I could spend a lot of time today explaining the Trinity in half a dozen different ways. We can probably put you to sleep. But making sure that you're still awake, I saw a cute story the other day. A man was not feeling very well, so he went to the doctor, and while he was waiting in the doctor's reception room, a nun came out of the doctor's office. She looked very upset and drawn. And when the man went in to see the doctor, he said, "Doc, I just saw a nun running out of your office who looked absolutely terrible." He said, "I don't think I've ever seen a woman look any worse." The doctor said, "I just told her she was pregnant." The man exclaimed unbelievably, "Is she really?" "No," the doctor said, "but it sure cured her hiccups." All right, I hope I have your attention today. First look at the gospel lesson today almost seems to bypass the reverence of Trinity. I mean, after all, it's a story about Jesus' encounter with Nicodemus. This man, Nicodemus, the questioning Nicodemus, was a man of prominence, a man of great importance in Israel. He served as one of the rulers of that country. He was a member of the Sanhedrin, which was essentially a religious court, somewhat like the Jewish Supreme Court. The 70 men who were a part of the Sanhedrin were selected because of their wisdom, their experience. They were charged with making sure that the laws were carried out in a specific manner. They were making important religious decisions for the people of Israel. And they were selected so that the two sects of Israel, the Sadducees and the Pharisees, each had equal representation. Now, Nicodemus was a Pharisee, a word that simply means the separated one. There were about 6,000 or so Pharisees in Israel at that time, and they were very straight-laced folks. They had testified before at least 2 witnesses that they intended to live a life according strictly to the Jewish law. And they were supposed to be experts in that law and very committed to the observance of it. And the law for the Pharisees was the Torah. And if you've ever read through the book of Leviticus, you can understand just how confusing Jesus' law, the Jewish law could be at times. Nevertheless, the Pharisees intended to make sure that everyone followed Jewish law to the very letter. For example, the Israelites were told, "Do not work, do not bear burdens, but rest on the Sabbath and keep it a holy day." And so work had to be defined. Carrying burdens had to be defined. For example, one could get milk from a cow just enough for one swallow. One could carry a spoon, assuming that it weighed no more than a fig. And so it was the scribes and Pharisees who were embroiled over this discussion as to whether or not on the Sabbath a woman could wear a piece of jewelry, a mother could pick up her child, or could a man wear his wooden leg. It was very confusing. It was very legal, and it was very strict. And Nicodemus was used to being in control of his religion. So when Jesus began talking about being born again, this just didn't add up to Nicodemus. After all, his concept for him had to be something that was well ordered, something that was a legal sort of thing that he could deal with. But Nicodemus also knew there was something wrong. See, perhaps Nicodemus knew that he was missing something in his life. Perhaps he felt an emptiness in his life. And maybe he realized that what he was trying to do was humanly impossible. We don't know the details, but we do know that he was seeking something. After all, why would Nicodemus seek Jesus out in the night? Now, all of us from time to time have seen or heard things we don't understand. I saw a cute little thing the other day called Things to Ponder. And it said this: why do Fat Chance and Slim Chance have the same name? Why is it called a TV set when there's only one television? And here's the one that gets me more than anything else. I travel along a lot of rural roads. Would you please help me to understand how they get the deer to cross at those yellow signs that say deer exit here? I'm sure that Nicodemus pondered about this born-again thing over and over. And so as he approached Jesus here during the night, he is on a mission. It's a personal mission, it seems. He's come to Jesus to attempt to figure him out. He's come to the conclusion that Jesus cannot possibly do what he does unless he's come from God. And this is a good conclusion. And yet in the conversation with Jesus, Nicodemus found that believing what Jesus can do is very difficult. Jesus gives the skeptical Pharisee the key that every God-fearing Christian must know. And that is simply this. He said, the Son of Man must be lifted up, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have eternal life. Now that, my friends, is exactly what being born again is all about. Jesus has revealed to Nicodemus the essential truth of life. So much so that if you miss that, then you're going to miss everything. If you don't get this one right, you will never go anywhere spiritually in life. You will go somewhere, but it will not be the place you want to go. Now, this concept of being born again was certainly perplexing to Nicodemus, and it continues to be perplexing to some people. The idea here is an idea of change. You know, many people in the world today try to change themselves. There was an old television show many years ago called Extreme Makeover. Remember that? They take a rather homely looking lady and make her into a gorgeous starlet type. I don't know if you ever watched the television program Botched. It's about two California plastic surgeons who are constantly getting requests from women to have bigger breasts, bigger behinds, bigger lips, or whatever. It's always something bigger. So bigger that some of them are about to float away. And so these guys are always trying to tell these women, slow down here. You don't want them to get bigger. You're against the laws of nature. God made us a certain way. We need to expect to stay that way. But we all love this idea of being able to start over in life, changing ourselves into something we dream about. Being born again. The question, have you been born again, was asked in a research survey not too many years ago. And the people who answered this survey gave some pretty amazing answers. About half of them claimed to be born again, 46% to be exact. But all of them believe that, 86% of them anyway, said that the Bible is absolutely true in what it teaches. 98% of them said born-again Christians say that their faith is important. And yet here is a very interesting and confusing thing. 26%, almost a quarter of the people who they surveyed, said that while he lived on earth, Jesus Christ committed sins like all other people. He was absolutely human, and so he had to be sinful. Well, that's not what the Bible teaches. Obviously, then, there's some confusion about this being born again. And so I think in order to understand this term, you have to understand that there are two births in our lives. The first birth is, of course, the physical birth, where we are born into this world from our mother and father. And the second birth is a spiritual birth, which means to be born of the Spirit. That's God's Holy Spirit. The Bible teaches us that man is created in the image of God, and God manifests himself to mankind in the persons of God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, that triune God, which we talk about today. Being born again simply means that we have made an overt decision to become a disciple of Christ. That's really what being saved and born again is all about. You know, I get sometimes almost amused, although I'm sure that most of the television evangelists say the things they say them in good faith, just I hope they do. We hear an awful lot of talking about being saved again. I grew up in Greenville, South Carolina, the home of Bob Jones University. And I'm sure there are many good people over there. I used to go to their Westbrook program on Sunday evening. But they used to send their Bible students out on Saturday afternoon and try to save people. You realize that I was saved 3 times one Saturday afternoon in a Sears Roebuck parking lot. I don't know if these guys had a quota about saving people or not. Listen, you can be saved once in your life, I think, and that ought to be enough. Being saved, being born again, is all about changing our lives, putting ourselves under the direction of Jesus Christ. And that's what we as Christians do. I like what Max Lucado, the great Christian author, had to say about this. He said there are many reasons God saves you: to bring glory to himself, to appease his justice, to demonstrate his sovereignty. One of the sweetest reasons God saved you is because he's fond of you. He likes having you around. He thinks you're the best thing to come down the pike in quite a while. If God had a refrigerator, your picture would be on the side of it. If he had a wallet, your photo would be in it. He sends you flowers every spring and sunrise every morning. Whenever you want to talk, he'll listen. He can live anywhere in the universe, and he chooses your heart. And the Christmas gift he sent you best with him, face it, friend, he's just plain crazy about you. For that, thanks be to God. Remember the words of our Lord, how he said,